Recording live from the Northeast Georgia Business RadioX studio, this is Northeast Georgia Business Radio. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to Northeast Georgia Business Radio. We are live from the beautiful Empower College and Career Center of Jackson County, and I have with me yet more amazing guests, because honestly, that is what we do. I have with me today Vicki Starnes and Marena Bleech of the Crawford Long Museum here in Jefferson. Ladies, how are you?
Doing great.
Really good, thank you.
See, the mics work.
They do.
How are you?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Pretty good, yeah.
Vicki, you're being quiet. That's unlike you.
I know, it is.
The mics go on. The mics go on and people get quiet.
Yeah.
Crawford Long Museum here in Jefferson. What's that all about?
Well, the museum has been here since 1957,
Nice.
and it is a tribute to Dr. Long, Dr. Crawford Long, who did the first painless surgery on the site where the museum is located on March 30th, 1842.
So we just passed an anniversary.
Yes, we recognize that for National Doctors Day, that date. And a lot of doctors don't realize the significance of why it's National Doctors Day. But it was chosen, the date of March 30th was chosen by the Ladies Auxiliary in Winder. And they celebrated the first Doctors Day in 1933. So this is actually the 90th year of marking, recognizing doctors for their dedication to their profession.
So Dr. Long came up with anesthesia.
Exactly. He discovered anesthesia using sulfuric ether. There was a fad back in the 1800s
Sure there
of the
was.
traveling medicine
Like
shows.
staying alive in general.
Yes, exactly. The time of the traveling medicine shows where people would observe people inhaling nitrous oxide, laughing gas, and they would want to get that. So just like keg parties at college today,
Right.
the students would want to have frolic parties, and they would ask...
That was a thing.
Frolic, that was a thing.
Wow.
And so they would ask Dr. Long for nitrous oxide. He couldn't get that, but he knew that sulfuric ether had the same exhilarating effects.
Wow.
And he would provide that and observe that they would inhale the ether on a cloth, that they would have a great time. They'd fall off the porch. They'd bang their knees, not really seem to feel any pain.
They wouldn't feel a thing.
No. So that's what gave him the idea that he could use that for painless surgery. So his first patient was James Venable, and he had 2 cysts on the back of his neck, and he didn't want to have them cut out because he knew it was going to hurt.
It was going to hurt like crazy.
Yeah, because before anesthesia was discovered, if you had to have any kind of surgery, they would ring a bell outside the doctor's office to let the town know that surgery was going to happen, and they needed some strong men to come in and hold the patient down.
They'd put a piece of tree or something in their mouth.
Yeah,
Bite
on a bullet, bite on this bite stick. So
Wow.
And history was made in the little frontier town of Jefferson.
From frolic parties.
From frolic parties, yeah.
So we have a lot to be thankful for from Dr. Long.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, well, yeah. I guess almost painless surgery. And,
It was.
And good thing this isn't TikTok, because I can see now frolic parties starting all over or something.
It's going to become a thing, yeah.
And it would start from Jefferson, Georgia.
Exactly.
Again,
We can start a trend.
there's a million really bad jokes I'm just going to stay away from. We're considering where our studio is, we probably need to stay away from those bad jokes.
Right.
So can anyone just come up and see the museum?
Absolutely. Tuesday through Friday, we're open 10 to 5.
Okay.
And on Saturdays from 10 to 4. In closed major holidays.
So there's no frolic parties at the museum.
No frolic parties and no ether. I have empty ether cans.
You have empty ones.
Yes, but no ether in them.
See, you ought to run an experiment. Just put some normal air or something in them, and just see. Here, try this, and see
Right.
see if the whole mental thing. You can start a whole different. Never mind.
I really wanted to find those scratch and sniff cards, that smell like
that
ether.
That would be different.
When exhausted that, never could find them.
Never could find them. Probably a reason why.
Yeah.
So what's in the museum? What do we have to look forward to? We come to the museum.
Well, it's not just about Dr. Long. Of course, that's the main reason you come.
Sure.
But there's also a general store area, so it has kind of more of the general history
Nice.
of Jackson County and Jefferson
So
as well.
this is set in the mid 1800s ish.
About late 19th century.
Okay.
And then also upstairs, there's a gallery where you have kind of history of anesthesia and the machines from an early date to a more recent date as well. So there's a lot to see, and you get a really good history of the area as well.
Now, is there a fee to come to the museum?
Yes, it is $5 a person.
Oh, that's not bad.
And Adults. Now, if you are an anesthesiologist, I believe it's $3.
Yeah.
So you get
Seniors, $4. Students, $3. And children 5 and under free.
Nice. No, there's no like actor portrayals or anything.
We have done that occasionally.
Have you really?
Mm-hmm. We've had some amputation reenactments.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, we had a little
You
boy.
charge $10.
Yeah. Reenactment is the key word there.
Right.
And we do have a gentleman that is very good about portraying Dr. Long for us. He knows the whole story. So special events.
He's a
will
historian himself.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Now, I hate to admit I've never been to the museum. Where in Jefferson is it?
Right downtown on the public square. It's a 3-building complex. 28 College Street is the address. The entrance is actually on College Street, which is under the green awning.
Right.
But like I said, it's a 3-building complex, so it kind of takes up one whole side of the square.
So, forgive me, Dr. Long, was he from the area?
He was from Danielsville, which is in Madison County.
Not very far away.
Yeah, not far. And, he wasn't your ordinary country doctor. He was really well educated for his time. Less than 10% of the doctors back in the 1800s even had a formal medical degree.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he graduated from Franklin College, which was the precursor of UGA.
Okay.
And he came
Very
to
cool.
Jefferson to study under Dr. Grant, who was the town doctor at the time. And that's how they did it back then. You studied for like 3 years under your precursor, or whatever they called it back then. And then you hung your shingle out and you were the town doctor.
Oh, wow.
But after about a year of studying with Dr. Grant, he decided that he wanted to pursue a formal medical education. So he started his journey on horseback to Lexington, Kentucky, and then transferred to the University of Pennsylvania and graduated with his medical degree and did something that was unusual at the time, but is actually a requirement today. He went to New York to walk the halls of the hospital.
Oh,
So
wow.
that would basically be the equivalency of a residency today.
He put real time in.
Yep. So then he came back to Jefferson and bought the practice of Dr. Grant. So that's how he ended up in Jefferson at the time that he made his momentous discovery of anesthesia.
So he was still a
Painless.
relatively young man when
He was. He was only 26.
Okay. So he I guess he somewhat missed the Civil War. A little too young.
He was he was too old by the time the Civil War actually happened. By that time he had moved to Athens.
Okay.
And had his practice and his pharmacy in Athens, and he was too old to actually go to war.
Gotcha.
So he was commissioned as the surgeon there, the doctor to tend to all of the wounded.
Gotcha.
And
so he was involved.
He was involved.
He just didn't shoot and fire at people.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly. But he also did something which was really just kind of shows what a smart man he was. He realized before the war started that he should probably backlog a lot or stockpile a lot of the drugs, manufactured drugs out of the North. So when he had his pharmacy in Athens. He did that, and when the Union blockades went into effect and they couldn't get anything into the South, Athens was one of the last places to run out of manufactured drugs before they had to resort back to making the medicines again, collecting the botanicals and doing all that handmade stuff.
I can only imagine what they considered manufactured drugs back then. I mean, basically whiskey.
Yeah.
A lot of whiskey, I would think. I don't know. Homemade stuff. Homemade stuff. So what else did he do? He did a lot.
He did. He was a smart man. He
and
really
at a young
was.
age. Mm-hmm. I mean, the horse ride alone to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that was frontier times.
Yeah, they should just gave him whatever degree he wanted to at that point. Very impressive. Very impressive.
And he actually passed away after delivering the baby, I believe.
That's right.
Of a
Yeah,
friend.
he was on a house call delivering a child, and his last words were, "Tend to the mother and child before me." He had an aneurysm
Oh, wow.
and died that night at 62.
Ooh.
Which, back then
In
that
today's,
was
today's time's a very young
Today's
man.
young.
Yeah.
And he's buried in the Oconee Hills Cemetery in Athens, Georgia, which is a historic Victorian
He is in Athens. Okay.
cemetery where his family is there as well. And it's a really neat site to visit.
Gotcha.
And tell them what we just did.
We just recently did a great.
Wait a minute. If it involves cemeteries and locations, I don't think I want to know.
Just go during the day. It's beautiful. We just did a grave cleaning there, so we cleaned his headstone, and there's many there as well. So we cleaned a few, and we still need to go back and finish, but we did as much as we could. And next Doctor's Day, we plan to lay a wreath there as well.
Perfect. And that's what, March 30th.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So you do something every year for March 30th.
We do. We always recognize our local medical providers in Jackson County.
Okay.
And we used to carry red carnations to each practice and take them in to the doctors, but then of course COVID eliminated allowing us
year of our life we'll never get back.
Access to inside. So now we send postcards, and we put like yard signs out in front of the businesses that say Happy Doctor's Day from the Crawford Long Museum, and we place a memorial wreath on the obelisk which stands on the square in Jefferson.
Right. That part I knew. And do you need a lot of help from the community, volunteers? Is there any way that the community can get involved that they're not involved in yet? A regular guy like myself?
We always needed help delivering the carnations, and it takes a while too to visit all of it, placing the
just getting
yard
all that
signs
together
and getting
would be a lot.
Yeah.
But just other than Doctor's Day, is there help from the community that you need? How do we get more and more involved? That's what I want to know.
I think one of the main things too is also just supporting the museum and recognizing what an important part of Jefferson that it is, and attending the programs and events and telling people about it when they come.
We're always in need of docents to come and lead tours as well. That is someone that knows the story and can take a tour group through the museum and tell them about the exhibits. And
so I got to learn the stories.
You got to learn the story.
Are you volunteering?
I can do it. Hey, I've done tours before, so I can learn anything.
We will sign you up.
That'd be fun. No, seriously though, but oftentimes, and I fall into this. The studio falls into the whole of. We think everyone knows exactly what we're doing, but not everyone necessarily does. So, but that's why we have everyone come in, businesses, organizations come in, so we can get the word out. But you need tour guides. Mm-hmm. There's a little education that's got to go on with that.
Right.
Or just wing it.
We're happy to train you.
Creatively.
We're happy to train you.
There's a boot camp, folks. The Crawford Long boot. No, I'm kidding. What else do y'all need? Seriously. There's got to be needs.
We have a lot of events that we do just about every month. There's something going on, whether it's an evening workshop or like we just recently had a lecture about Peru and a sampling of Peruvian foods and beverages.
Chilean Farms did that?
Yes,
Yeah.
you know Kim.
Everyone knows Kim.
Yeah, she did a fabulous program for us.
Everything she does is fabulous.
Yes, and we have. Let's see, we've got coming up in July. We've got in June we've got History Camp, a week of History Camp for kids.
Nice.
And in
Nice.
July we've got the Dog Days of Summer, which is bring your dog to the museum. One pooch equals one pass, free
Wow.
admission.
I hear you.
We do a freebie Friday 4 times a year. We've got one coming up
August 26th.
Yeah, August 25th.
That's in August,
I think.
right?
That's yes. And then, we also are a Blue Star Museum participant.
Now, what does that mean?
That is a national program that is coordinated through the Department of Defense and the Humanities or
Endowment for the
Environment.
Arts.
Yes, Endowment for the Arts. Thank you. And it is. We sign up we register to be a Blue Star Museum, and that offers active military free admission for their family. With showing their active military ID.
Sure.
And all summer long, from Armed Forces Day, May 20th, until Labor Day.
Nice.
And you can go to a website that lists all of the museums nationally that participate in this Blue Star program.
Gotcha. That sounds really cool.
So lots of opportunities to come
I like
over
that.
the summer,
I like that.
especially if you have a dog.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, is the history camp, is that booked up? Is that booked out?
Pretty much, yes. I think we have
No room at the inn at this point.
no room at the inn.
That's a
We're
good
pretty
and a bad
full.
thing all at
Yeah.
the same time.
Yeah, we're limited in our workshop area
Sure.
on how many kids we
Sure.
can hold
Right.
comfortably. So, but it'll be a fun week. It's the theme this year is Into the Wild, so they'll be studying rainforest, and actually Kim's coming back with her llamas and the last day of camp to talk about Machu Picchu and. Yeah,
Llamas are always a
yeah,
big hit.
they're always
Baby
it's always
goats and
fun.
llamas, you can't go wrong.
Oh yeah, I talked to one little girl at the library, and she is very excited.
Very excited about coming?
She came last year, and she is excited for this
She's ready to
year.
do it again.
Yeah, so it's a hit.
Yeah, history camp sounds kind of boring, but it's not. We make it fun.
That's good. Well, if they're lining up to be there, it can't be too bad. I like it. I like it.
True.
All right, ladies, what did we miss before we start wrapping this thing up? What did we miss? You two have like 5 pages of notes.
Well, we want to make
I've
sure
got
we
like
tell you
not even
everything.
like a sentence over here.
We would like to mention some of the tributes that have been made to Dr. Long through the years.
Other things he's done other than just frolic parties. Yes.
Yes. Well, not that things he's done, but things that were actually done to honor him.
Okay. Yeah. I got
So,
you.
Let's see. Well, of course, we mentioned the monument that's in Jefferson, and that was unveiled in
Right.
1910. And then in 1926, the state of Georgia gave a statue made of Georgia marble of Crawford Long to the National Statuary Hall collection at the U.S. Capitol. So there are 2 statues that Georgia gives, and the one of them representing Georgia is Crawford Long.
Nice.
He
Tell
also
them who the other one is.
It's Alexander Stevens,
Yes.
correct? Who was also his
They were roommates in college, and now
at
they
UGA.
represent Georgia.
Yeah, so
in
they're
the-
both up
in
there.
The
Very
Capitol.
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And then he had a county named after him, a hospital in Atlanta.
It's no longer named that. It's
right,
now Emory at Midtown.
Right.
I remember going there, though, when it was Crawford W. Long Hospital. And then a commemorative stamp. There was even a wartime merchant marine ship that was named after him as well. So obviously he's a significant figure for Georgia and just for the United States in general, because we have, a lot to be
Yeah,
grateful
a
for.
lot. When I started doing the research for this, just for an exhibit that we have there, his long and lasting legacy. Did you get that?
Yeah.
Long and lasting legacy.
Little pun there.
I was
Podcast
surprised.
gold
I
right
was
there.
I was surprised at all of the things that I didn't know about that had been done in his honor, and a lot of them were all prior to the establishment of the museum.
Right.
And something else that Vicki has come up with are representing the museum often are the ether bunnies. You
Oh,
can't forget that.
Ether
That's
bunnies.
right. Yes,
I
we
have to know
those in
about
our-
ether bunnies.
We have those in our gift shop. Ether bunnies.
And then
Ether
at
bunnies.
Halloween, you
And-
might dress up as an ether
might
bunny.
dress up like one at Halloween. Yes, an ether bunny.
I got to see that one day. Between frolic parties and ether bunnies,
We have fun.
See, it's
I'm
a lot
telling
more
you.
interesting than you think.
it's nowhere near as boring as anyone thought.
No.
I never thought it was. I never thought it was. All right, so give those hours that the museum is open again. You're closed on Sunday and Monday.
Yes, closed on Sunday and Monday. Tuesday through Friday, open 10 to 5, and on Saturday, 10 to 4.
If say a mother who is just wore out from it's summertime and the kids are home from school, she's got 2 or 3 children, maybe the neighbor's kids. How much time does mom need to allot in her day to walk through the museum? Is it all day, maybe a couple hours?
It depends on what kind of museum visitor you are.
Okay.
There's 3 types. There's the sprinter,
Right.
there's the stroller,
Mm-hmm.
and there is the student who reads everything. If
Gotcha.
you're a sprinter, you can be through that 3 building complex in 25, 30 minutes.
Sure.
If you're a stroller, I would allow at least 45, 50 minutes.
I gotcha.
And if you're a student, you can stay there for 3 hours.
Okay.
Reading everything.
If you're a mom, you're probably not
Exactly.
a student.
That's
Probably
right.
not.
Probably can't be a student.
Yeah,
Probably- probably would like
a
to be, but there's
sprinter.
no way
You're
in the world.
Get a
closer-
babysitter.
Yeah, closer to a sprinter.
But
Yeah.
an hour and a half out of your day,
Yes.
Yeah.
before lunch, after lunch, something like that.
And people are so surprised when they come.
I'm surprised it's
and
talking
you
about
know
it.
that people that have lived here locally for years finally come by and they're like, been meaning to come by here, and when they do, they're like, wow, this was really good.
Glad we did it.
Yeah.
No, that's good. People need to know. What is the website? CrawfordLong.org, is that right?
That's correct.
That's right.
That is, and you'll see you're on Facebook, Crawford Long Museum, and Instagram, CWL Museum. Did I get all that right?
That's right.
Sounds like it.
Wow. See what those pre-show meetings do for you. Now, if I really started doing them. No, I'm kidding. But now today is also, did we cover everything about Dr. Long within reason?
I think
Vicki, you
think
could
so.
talk for 3 days on
Yes.
this
I probably
and
could.
not repeat yourself.
I probably could.
I know you could. But today is a very, very special day. And I was sworn not to do this, but we have to do this. Because, folks, Vicki Starnes has meant a lot to this community for the last 20 years. Today is actually your final day
Yes, it is.
as the director of the Crawford Long Museum.
That's right. That's why Marena.
And Marena is
the incoming
the
director.
incoming director.
Yes.
But Vicki, thank you for all the things you've done.
Well, thank you.
You've
I've
kept the
enjoyed
place
it.
going.
It's been a ride that has.
Oh, I can imagine.
You know, it's like kind of bittersweet. At one point, I'm like, "Yay! No longer have to set an alarm clock." but then I get.
But now
to
you'll
the-
wake up
I know,
automatically.
I
I know
will.
what I'm talking about. I should be sleeping right now.
And
It's
then
5
I get,
a.m.
you know, yeah. And then I get there, and I'm like, "Oh man, I'm gonna miss this." It's just been such a part of my life for so long.
Well, you did good.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
I guess on behalf of Jefferson, Jackson County, thank you.
Well, thank you.
There's probably someone not wanting me to do that, but I guess I have no right to thank you, but I've lived here long enough. I'll thank you. I appreciate
Thanks.
you. And Marena, big shoes to fill. Big shoes to
Yes.
fill, but you'll do it. You learned from the best.
Yes. Vicki has been wonderful. And I know she's not but a phone call away.
That's right. That's right.
She's got
Not
a lot
change-
of institutional knowledge.
Give it 3 days, she'll change her number completely.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I'm not allowed to bother her for a bit though, because I
I'll be
think
at the
she's
beach.
taking a beach
I'm
trip.
like,
so
just let me
Nice,
get to the
nice.
beach.
I'll
and then-
figure it out.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Well, ladies, in all seriousness, thank you for coming in and telling us more about the museum, piquing some interest. Sounds very cool. So let's see, Tuesday through Saturday. Was it 10 to 5 during the week?
10 to 5 during the week, 10 to 4 on Saturday.
A little earlier or closing a little earlier on Saturday. Gotcha. Well, if that's it, I guess we should be getting out of here pretty soon then.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yes, thank
we
you.
appreciate
We
it.
always love to talk about Dr. Long and tell his story.
Awesome. And it's a really cool story. There's like every facet of life, I think, in it. Very cool. Thanks for coming in. Seriously. My music's there. It means I got to wrap up. Folks, thank you so much for listening to Northeast Georgia Business Radio. I'm Tom Sheldon. Stop by the Crawford Long Museum in Jefferson. And today, if she's still around, say goodbye and thank you to Vicki and say hi to Marena. I'm Tom Sheldon. Talk to you soon.